new podcast series, which is all about how schools thrive and what makes a thriving school. Thank you very much for tuning in. In each short episode, I'm going to be meeting with some friends that I've made over my 25 or so years in education, some amazing people, like Sonia, who I'll introduce properly in a moment. And I'm going to be asking them a little bit about their own background and where they work. But above all, I'm going to be asking them what makes a thriving school and what they think is the ingredient that they would highlight for a school to really thrive. And the idea is that over the series of meetings and conversations and interviews, we'll build up what really amounts to a library of inspiring ideas and real life examples of thriving communities in education. I should just quickly introduce myself, perhaps before I introduce Sonia. My name is Russell Speirs. I'm the founder and chairman of RS Academics, and we work with schools all over the world, really, but particularly in the UK. And we provide a wide range of services. And through that work, I've met a wide range of people. I've met lots of principals and heads, bursars and business directors, also lots of governors and owners and proprietors, marketing people, fundraisers, and also lots of other consultants and advisors. And I'm going to be drawing on that wide sort of variety, if you like, that big mix of roles and people for this podcast series. So we're going to be starting today with Sonia, who's a principal, of course. Sonia is the principal of United World College, or UWC, in Mostar in Bosnia. So, hi, Sonia. Hello.
Hi, Russell. It's great to be here on this podcast with you. It sounds like it's going to be a very exciting series of conversations.
Great. Well, I certainly hope so. And I'm really, as you know, I'm genuinely thrilled that you're the first person that I'm meeting with. So, how are you, and what's sort of going on? It's the start of the year, isn't it? So I'm guessing it's pretty busy at the moment. What's happening at the moment?
That's right. I think busy is an understatement.
Okay.
It's the beginning of the academic year. We have all the students and staff here now, and classes have just started yesterday. And
Okay.
at United World College, usually that's very complicated because you have a lot of different subjects and different combinations, and just trying to help students find the right room and the right teacher itself is quite a task.
Yeah, and I'm guessing some of the students won't have ever boarded before, or for the IB before, so there'll be a lot of new things, a lot of orientation.
That's right, because we get our student body from all over the world, 72 countries right now represented in the student body at the college. Wow. So they come from various different backgrounds. They've never studied in English before. They've never studied the IB program before, many of them. A few of them, of course, are familiar with the IB and have studied in English, but a wide majority, they really have no experience with studying other subjects in English, for example.
Yeah. When I came, because you and I have met in person before, of course, and it was when I came out to be part of, because I wasn't just, I felt like I was really part of it. It was the graduation ceremony. And the reason I came out was because one of the students that we sponsor was graduating. And I remember being really struck by, well, so many things, but in particular, how supportive and kind the older students were with the younger ones, the second years and the first years. So I'm guessing that's an important part of this week, right? I mean, the orientation, that sort of the buddying system, or however you call it.
Absolutely. Building a community, building trust in that community, building a very supportive community. That is what is really important to us. And we kind of spend the first couple of weeks just doing this. That's why, although we started sometime in August, we are only starting classes now, because what we've been working on is building a community. And the kind of students that we get is, the kind of student that you have been sending us, for example, over the past few years. These are the students that are really empathetic. They are, really looking forward to working with students from other countries and learning from each other and appreciating and celebrating those differences. And that's what makes, all the difference.
Yeah, well, certainly a very energizing environment. For those people who are watching and who don't know UWC Mostar, Can you tell us a bit about the school and its specific location? Because it's a very, where it is pretty fundamental to its raison d'etre, isn't it? And how you work. So just tell us a bit about UWC Mostar, please, Sonia.
Right. So, of course, it's one of the schools in the UWC movement. It's the number 12th school
Right.
established in the series of 18 schools that are there.
18, yeah.
And one of the more special things about this school is the context that we are in. So it was deliberately chosen for its post-conflict nature. And we are in Mostar, which is still very much in many ways a divided city. And especially because the education system is segregated, divided, where students go to different education systems depending on their nationality. That's what they call it over here.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And UWC Mostar is in this particular building, which houses one of the local high schools, which is slightly different from the other high schools here because they offer both the curriculums.
Yeah.
So the administration is together, but the students come and study different curriculums there. And this is the reason why UWC Mostar, where students from all the 3 local nationalities and many other countries come together and study and live together, the same curriculum from the same set of teachers and in the same living spaces. So that's what is special really about UWC Mostar and why it is here. And of course, we offer the IB program, which is an excellent academic curriculum that is offered.
Yeah. Now I know because I was hoping to come out next week? No, the week after next, but I can't come unfortunately. But I was very much looking forward to being there with you for the peace conference, because you're organising. This will be the first time, I think, right? Because striving to create a more peaceful world is fundamental to the values of United World College as a movement. That's what it exists for, amongst other things. And in Mostar, that really is right at the center of what you're doing. So just tell us a little bit about I'm interested to know as well, what's happening on what's the date? Thursday, the 21st?
21st of September.
Yeah. Tell us about the peace conference. What's happening?
So that's UWC Day, as well as the International Day of Peace. And therefore, it's a great day to kind of really reflect on what we are here for. And I'm really excited because the idea for this peace conference came from one of our new staff members, who is a graduate of UWC Maastricht in the Netherlands. And it's particularly, I was particularly touched because I spent some time this year with the other UWC heads in Israel and Palestine, in the camps in Palestine. And I really reflected on what are we doing as a UWC, and that we need to more consciously reflect on what role do we have. And therefore, in this peace conference, we're going to have a very nice panel discussion with people who are really working here on the ground in trying to build, kind of build these bridges to bring these young people together and reflect on whether there is a role for education in peace. And if yes, then what is that? And what can we really do? So that's going to be a panel discussion of people who are really, truly, working very hard in trying to work towards peace in this region. And it will be followed by lots of workshops, art installations, performances by our students, who will then, lead all of this and reflect again on peace and education in their own way. And this is exciting because we have students from, countries like Rwanda, Yemen, Russia and Ukraine, who are, in the present kind of really active conflict. And of course, all the local nationalities here. And the war, even though it was just 30 years ago, is not so long ago.
No, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still see it. I mean, when you walk around Mostar, I mean, right opposite the beautiful building that you're in with that lovely yellow color, right opposite is that building which you will pass every day, which is completely gutted. I mean, it looks like it's about to fall down with bullet holes everywhere. And yeah, I mean, you're reminded of that every day. So I wish you luck with the conference. I hope it goes really well. And I'm really sorry I can't be with you on this occasion. let's just have a moment to discover a bit more about you, Sonia, because in a moment I'm going to ask you about what makes a school thrive, because that's what it's the theme of these podcasts. But because I know you went to a very interesting and unusual school yourself, and I've been practicing saying it. I think it's Visva Bharati
That's right.
in Shanti Niketan. Is that
Yeah,
correct? Yeah.
that's
So what is how has that sort of shaped your view of education? And can you just tell us a bit about what was unusual about it?
yeah. So this is an ashram really, which was set up by
Okay.
Rabindranath Tagore, who was a Nobel Prize winner in literature, but
Mm.
really an educationist at heart.
Yeah.
And in the early 1920s, very similar to the UWC ideal. And, from kindergarten till PhD, you can do it all
Okay.
there.
Right.
Uh,
I didn't
but,
know that. Okay.
but the most important thing in terms of his philosophy of education was really the freedom in every way that the students and the staff have. So the school, for example, and many of the even college level classes are out in the open under the trees,
Okay. Lovely.
not in a classroom. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the student and teacher relationship is very close, again, because of the freedom that the children have to establish this close relationship with the teacher, and therefore really kind of develop a love of learning rather than kind of a forced system of
Yeah.
education.
Yeah. I can see the connection with UWC, definitely. Yeah. Wow. That sounds amazing. I'm not sure we could have an open air school where I'm speaking from, although today is a very nice day here in Rutland in England. Um, let's um let's talk a little bit more about what your ingredient for thriving schools would be. So you're the first person I'm talking to. So you're lucky in the sense because you've got a free choice. I think as we go through the series, people will be perhaps struggling to find something that someone else hasn't said. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But what would you say is one of the key ingredients of a thriving school? And perhaps you could just explain, why it's so important.
Yeah, for me, like I said, like for example, in Vishwa Bharati, the freedom that the students have, I think, you might call it student empowerment, you might call it student agency.
Hmm.
And I think this is really so important. And especially in UWCs, I believe that in the small community that we build of a fully residential school, unless and until you give students that agency to be able to make decisions for themselves, to be able to reflect on, what is happening, why is it happening, what is the right way to do this, and to make mistakes.
Hmm.
In all of that, we can't, empower young people and say, oh, they must not make any mistakes, and that's the only condition under which they can get the power to make the decision. But so
Yeah.
they make mistakes. I think being able to give them the chance to do that, and I think UWCs as such do that very well. Give a safe environment for them to do that, and this is what
So
we try to do in Mostar at every level.
yeah. So what sort of things can you just give us one or two perhaps examples of things that the students do where they're kind of being empowered to make decisions and to take certain actions? What sort of things?
So one of the things is that we are very deliberately an open campus. We don't lock our students in a campus, and they can
Okay.
navigate the city. They can go around
Right.
from the residences which are spread across the city to the school and back, and to their various different activities, for the co-curricular activities across the city, for swimming or climbing or silking or dance or music or an old age home or school for
Yeah.
special needs. They navigate the city on their own. They do
Hmm.
not have 24/7 supervision, but this makes them feel far more responsible, and they support themselves and support each other much better. I truly believe that our students end up being far more independent and much more ready to take on life, go to university and college from here, because they already know how to navigate on their own. So
Yeah.
that's one of the ways. Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, as I say, I mean, I've seen it firsthand, and I want as many people as possible to know about UWC Mostar because it's a really great place. And you've through your leadership, you've created a very special community there, a real warmth and compassion, as well as educationally strong. So thank you very much indeed for joining me today. I wish we had longer. I think you've got a school to run, so I should let you go. But thank you very much, Sonia, and look forward to the next time we meet.
Thank you, Russell. And we are very grateful for your friendship and your support at
Pleasure.
Mostar.